Hey, good morning, Justice Warriors. It is Thursday, December 8th. It's about 10 after 9 in the morning. I was just going to make a short video today. I'm getting really close to finishing my letter of intent, and I want to just keep rolling with that. So, I just really got on here to say a couple of quick things. Let me first say that everything I say is simply my opinion, and it's really just for opening up a discussion, conversation, and it's definitely, hopefully, educational. And I cringe at the idea of it being entertainment, but I always like to acknowledge the entertainment part of YouTube because that's what YouTube is, right? It's entertainment and education, just like television. That's what I've been saying lately, anyway. So, looking at this horrible, horrible massacre in Moscow, Idaho, um, I want to let you guys know any of my regular viewers had probably noticed that in my content, I was not really looking at that case. I really didn't want to. It's so horrifying. And what I haven't shared with you is that my oldest child is 20, almost 21, and she's a college student. And she lives in a house where she's one of five roommates. It would be six, but it's five because one's not there, just because she's elsewhere. Anyway, it kind of hits close to home, is what I'm trying to say. That's, I try not to make these YouTube videos reveal too much about my personal life, and I've been kind of sitting on the fence about sharing that with you guys. But I want you to know that. I want you to know where I'm coming from is that, you know, these kids, these college kids, 20 and 21, are a lot like my kids. So my oldest son is 18, and then I have a younger son and daughter that are 15 and almost 11. So I'm very blessed to have four kids, and it's interesting looking at the case of the Idaho Four. Both Kaylee and her ex-boyfriend Jack, I think they're both one of four kids. I think Kaylee had two sisters and a brother. Well, she still has two sisters and a brother surviving her. And Jack, I'm not sure. I know he has at least one brother and one sister, and then I'm not sure if the fourth one is a brother or sister. But I mentioned yesterday and maybe prior to that as well that I was curious about the DuCoeur family from Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, and curious what types of maybe political connections, financial connections, religious connections, what kind of legacy this family has. And I've been kind of looking into that, and I don't want to say too much because it's a little bit premature. Um, but the town is called Coeur d'Alene. Let me read to you what Coeur d'Alene means. Direct translation from Canadian French. All right, are you ready? It means the French translation of Coeur is heart. Coeur d'Alene's full name translated from French to American English is Heart of an Owl. An owl being AWL, not like OWL. So, Heart of an Owl. And anyone who doesn't know what an owl is an instrument, a tool that's used to punch holes in, say, a leather belt. All right. It's giving me chills. Anyway, it also has the correct pronunciation in case anyone is curious. Coeur d'Alene, right? We knew that. Anyway, you guys know my opinion about this situation, and I just want to lay low with it just to let the law enforcement do their job. But in reflecting on why I feel that my opinion of who the primary or person of interest, number one person of interest, it all goes back to my first community post. And for anybody who hasn't looked at my community posts, please do. I've been working really hard on those as I've been kind of easing up on my videos in my process of getting my application completed. Um, so I had first come across the post that Kaylee had put up on her own Instagram, I think it is. And she put it up about 4 years ago. A couple of weeks ago, it said 233 weeks prior. And it's a gorgeous picture of her, extremely tan and extremely hot, shall we say. And there was no comments on it for 2 years. And then about 2 years ago, a little bit over 2 years ago, it was 114 weeks ago when I first saw it. And Jack DuCoeur had made a comment. I'm going to read it. It's awful. By itself, it's just rude, right? Anyone got a rag I can clean up with, okay? It made my stomach turn. And I was going to screenshot it, but then I didn't want to screenshot it because I just thought that's so freaking disgusting. And then I slept on it and I thought, that is just not right. That's just not right for somebody to be making that comment about his girlfriend. And so I went back to screenshot it and it was deleted. And I thought, well, fine. It's disgusting anyway. I didn't really want to get into it. And then I was able to find it on somebody else's post that had screenshot it. By the time they screenshot it, this guy made a comment, probably a total stranger, gaming strike. Gaming strick. He tagged Jack and he said, "Man, you left a creepy comments. Oh, sorry, some of it's cut off. Man, you left a lot of creepy comments on a bunch of her pictures. You look sus AF." And then uh, pretty quickly after that, Jack DeCoeur tagged him back and said, "She was my girlfriend for 5 years. You're a creep for stalking deceased person's bikini pics, hiding behind a fluke account." And honestly, honestly, that response is what I think tipped the scales and convinced me that this person is beyond not right. Okay, he made that comment to a complete stranger after the love of his life was slaughtered with three of his friends. I think most of us would be in such turmoil and despair and absolutely traumatized and grief stricken, we wouldn't really care if some jerk was making a comment that we didn't appreciate on Facebook. I think most of us would delete it. And the more that I thought about that, and I shared it with a couple of friends that have long-term careers in law enforcement and military, these two people in particular, and they didn't really know much about the case. Of course, they'd heard about it on the news. And when I shared with them what I just told you about, the very last part, both of them were like, "Oh, okay then." So I'm just sharing that with you. I'm just sharing that with you. Um, of course, everybody is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. And, I'm going to take a big risk in saying that all of this tracking down of this other Jack that may or may not be in Africa, all of this finger pointing towards him, personally, I think it's horrible. I think it's hideous. I think people need to take a step back and lay low. He's a college kid. He was flirting with a couple of girls. He was trying to keep an eye on them. And then he drove to his parents' cabin at 2 in the morning to 7 in the morning. Okay? I'm not trying to offend anybody, but I'm just saying, like, college kids do that. When I was in college, I stayed up all the freaking time, every single night of the week that I could. Me and my friends, we were party animals, and it was like a competition, like who could survive on the least amount of sleep, who could get the best grades when sleeping through all their classes. I mean, I'm just being honest. This was a long time ago. This was like when I was a freshman in college. And I gave up that lifestyle pretty quickly, but I was going to a big university where that was kind of what people did. It was like a competition to see who could party the hardest and still function the best, right? And it looks to me that that is very similar with the University of Idaho. The school that I went to was Miami University in Ohio, and it also has a very, very profound Greek element there. And, that's just kind of the fraternity way. And my point in saying all this is that there's going to be a lot of guys at every college that are absolute jerks and are completely macho and love to hunt and love to show off. And that does not make a young man a killer, okay? I mean, I just think it's a distraction. I think that your primary suspect is really, really obvious. I think his behavior has been really obvious, and the location of his house just blew my mind, right? We can all thank Crime Circus for putting out that video that so quickly got taken down. I don't know if it got taken down because he wanted to take it down, or if YouTube took it down, or if law enforcement said, hey, we need that taken down. We just don't want to have um, any problem with the investigation being the slightest bit affected by that. So, allegedly, with Brittany, had made a live before he took it down that has most, if not all of it, in her live. The part that I saw was she showed about 10 minutes of it, and it's at the 1 hour, 31 minute, and 11-second mark to about the 1 hour and 41-minute mark. And it's from not last night, but the night before. And so I want to direct you to that if you have not caught um, Drip Drop. That's what the guy calls himself. I think it's really hilarious. If you have not caught his presentation on who he sees as suspect number one, primary suspect number one, I would highly recommend going to Allegedly with Brittany's live. I think it's about a 3 hour live, and you can just hop right in there to the middle of it and see that 10-minute clip. Maybe she'll even put that up separately. I don't know. Um, but anyway, I was really happy that I had found that guy's channel. I just happened to come upon it and find that video. And then when I went back to look for it yesterday after I made my morning video and was going to put a link to it, it was gone. So I put the link to Allegedly with Brittany's video and explained all that. Anyway, I just want to give a huge shout out to all these people that I feel like are trying to find justice for these poor, unfortunate victims. And I also want to give a huge shout out to Mama D. She's been doing some really good work on a lot of cases, but this one in particular. Mama D 1111 Tarot. And, I'm not usually so down with the whole tarot thing. I mean, I understand it, but it's just not really my cup of tea in general. But man, that woman just rolls with it. She does a really good job. So, another thing I want to mention is a lot of the talk in the last day about this white car parked in front of the house that maybe came from a police body cam at that when they had that call at 3:01 in the morning that same night, not too far from that house. Um, Personally, I don't think anybody's going to drive up to a house and do that. I just can't see it. I think, again, the white car is another distraction as far as I'm concerned. I think it's really important to not get all excited about all these distractions. I know it's hard. It's hard for me, but I think we just need to lay low and let law enforcement do their job and hope that they do it swiftly before anything goes sideways. And when I say sideways, I think of Brian Laundrie. All right. I also think of Caitlin Armstrong, the woman who allegedly shot Mo Wilson in Austin, Texas this past summer and then fled to Costa Rica. They were in a little love triangle with Colin Strickland, the mountain bike racer. Anyway, she was apprehended, and I think she's going through the system right now. But it's just really sad to see these people elude the authorities, elude justice, and I think that it would be very much of value to get a DNA sample from Jack D and see what happens there. So, back to what I was saying about Coeur d'Alene and my inquiry of what are we looking at here? Because my words, I think I said it yesterday. I said it's feeling like another Hambrick situation in the Tahoe area, in the case with Ms. Kylie Rodney and the Nate Hambrick, who was allegedly at the party and allegedly had a lot to do with, and then turns out the Hambrick family is the Hambrick family. And looking up the DuCoeur family in Coeur d'Alene, I didn't find any other people with that last name of Coeur in Coeur d'Alene, if you follow me. Okay? Jack seems to come from a very stable, wholesome, highly respectable family, pillars of society. It's my understanding that he was a star athlete in college, high school, that he was like a star tennis player. Apparently, his brother is a star baseball player and was receiving a lot of recognition earlier this summer, late spring. I also have a question. If anybody knows, please share if Jack had graduated college yet. So I think he's 22. I think he is a year older than Kaylee was. There's a lot of places on the internet where it says he's 26. There's some where it says he's 21, but I think he's 22. So I don't know if he graduated high school a year before Kaylee. I don't know if he was finished with college, if he has been awarded his bachelor's degree, or if he was still working on that. I'm curious if anyone knows what his status was as far as work and education, where he was at with that. And I'll just cut straight to the point is if he had graduated, like say this past spring, and he was waiting around in Moscow for Kaylee, and then she said, I'm out of here. Don't follow me. I got this. And I'm taking our dog. um, you know where I'm going with that. Anyway, I'm going to wrap it here. I'm going to ask you guys if you feel so moved, please hit that like button and share this videotape and subscribe if you haven't already. So that's my little spiel. What's my other spiel? It's the goodbye one, right? Take great care of yourself today and every day. Make sure you get your water first and foremost. The most important thing is our hydration and our nutrition, high protein, lots of fruits and vegetables, as many as you can eat, really. That's seriously the guideline. As many as you can eat, twice as many vegetables as fruits, which is so hard for me, which is why I make veggie smoothies. That's how I get a lot of my vegetables in. I mean, I love vegetables. It's just hard for me to, eat salads and broccoli and stuff all day. It's much easier to drink it in a smoothie. Um, and then get your exercise and relax and just enjoy your day. Make the most of it. Your time is precious and take care of yourself, take care of the people around you, And anybody who is not being positive and making a positive impact on your life, anybody who's being disrespectful or anyone who you don't respect, stay away from them and have them stay away from you. Just keep your boundaries and don't let them get under your skin because they will try. There's a lot of soul sucking jerks out there wherever you go. And sometimes it's the people we love the most, and they're just having a bad day or something, and it's just important to not let it get to you and keep your balance. Stay happy, stay healthy, stay well. Keep fighting the good fight. We're gonna find justice for these people. I know we are. And that's about it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one. I got to get that letter done.